right, man versus CSS grid today. You guys wanted the grid. Here comes the grid.
We're making a website. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. So I guess we should just get into this. Oh, that looks so cool.
That's what's about to happen. It's hacking time. Yeah, baby. We got it. We got it. So we should probably generate a bunch of these. And then, well, why don't we do the design for one first? And then go from there. So we need one of these plus a little header or something like that. The table name basically is going to be earnings table, and then class it out as Greg table. We could class it as table. That doesn't seem like that would conflict with any namespace. Let's just do this. I'm a little shady on how the grids work. I'm going to guess. We're just going to guess. I'm going to just guess on this thing. We'll call this like headline, or what would this call? It's called a header in a table. And then there's going to be whatever number of these things stuck in here. So now we got these things. This core CSS file, we should be doing a little bit smarter things than we're doing, but we're not going to yet. So OMBC tables. Well, first of all, we need to get it away from that other stuff above it. Let's give that a nice little margin of like 20 pixels. I'm being generous. Let's make it 50. Yeah, okay. Let's make sure we can put a background color on the table. Let's just see what that would look like. Okay, good. Let's dial that back a little bit. I kind of want this like bluish. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Just a little blue tint like that. And now we get into it. So is there, essentially, do we just apply the same grid to the header and everything else, I guess? So there's 4 items. We'll just give them all one fraction right now. It does nothing. What if this thing isn't even hitting? Is there a reason that's not hitting? You want to be columns, but there are other ways we can do that there, Mr. Guy. Template columns. Oh boy. Thanks, Nick. So do we just do that twice? Like, do we then take this and sort of say, like, we have a body for the table here, and let's say this is going to be a row item. Let me just put some dummy data in. Okay, so now we're just gonna do this. Boop. That's kind of interesting that it like fixed itself. I think, yeah, that's easy peasy. That's what easy peasy looks like. So it's doing the right thing. We just need to style it in a little bit more. So let's get a little smarter about this. Data. Is that a thing? It's the date time. That's the word that makes sense to me. Probably just using like a better word for that. Data name. Now we can use that to apply some styles to these different things based on where they live. We can align stuff. It'll be fun. Unless we call everything daytime, in which case fun will be ceased. Boom. Okay, let's work this forward. So we'll start with the headers. Get those looking more like headers. I'm going to open this up a little bit and say, set this font size just to something so we have the font size set. And then we can do some font weight, make those uppercase. Oh, that's just authoritative. That's an authoritative looking header. Too authoritative. Get a little bit of letter spacing. That's probably good. Let me make 2 row items as well. Maybe 3. Let's make 3. So now we'll take, like, we need that date time to squeeze in just a little bit. So we'll do data name, date time. We do need to change the row background. We're going to set one background color, which is going to be a little bit lighter than that. So to get that, this is a stupid way to get it. Let's do a little bit more. Let's push it up to 20%. Yeah, it works. And then we're going to do every other. We're going to do all the even ones a different color. Doesn't need that much. That's good enough. I don't think we need anything else here. Amounts, we want to leave those left aligned. Descriptions, we'll leave them left aligned too. Date times, we want left flush. We could right flush this origin. Let's do that. It's a little funky. It's a little funky right now. We'll get it better. So then in here, we're going to need to use some line height on the row item. Now I have this separated right here. We're going to keep that separated just so it's a little easier to work with. Then we're going to come up here and do our row item CSS stuff. So we'll just do a little line height. Line height is going to make sure that we get a specific height for each row. It's breaking because this is a little too big, but we'll fix that in a second. Just like that. Make it a little bit bigger. Oh boy, it just doesn't want to get bigger. So is there, thank you, Nick. I was just about to ask that. Is there a way to give it a little bit more space? That's almost like too much space though. Is this stuff going to push back if it's longer? Let me see. So it doesn't really function that much like a table. This will break as soon as things get too long. Because it's almost like we don't need 1. We need like 1.5. Let's put what's the longest month name we could have? November. So what does min-max do? Where do you set it? Let me keep working on this. I think we're going to set this font size universally. That's better. Okay. Let's make the amount look a little bit better. What I'm curious, what happens if you don't specify your columns at all? What if you just say, I want a grid, but you figure out the grid? That's what happens. Horrifying. Okay. Where do you write fit? You got to give me the code. You're just saying words right now, Nick. Nick is literally just saying min max fit. Where do we put that? Fit. That's not going to do it. I can look it up. I guess we could look at it. No, Gritty. No. Not yours. Sorry. Like, this is more what we want right here, but the problem with this is, look, like, you have to specify all the row relations. Unless that's what that's doing. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Oh, I see. Hold on. One for. The old one for. I see. So you say auto fit, min max, 250 pixels, 1 for. I see. So you're saying jam this into the grid template columns. Don't screw me. It screwed me. I mean, there's this auto thing that you could do here. Oh, is that it? Just 4 auto things? I have a feeling that this will not consistently do the header and the footer, or and the body. Yeah, that's what the feeling got me. Because these are on 2 separate grids. You have 1 grid here and 1 grid here. Now, let's just be clear. CSS table would have been a solution here. We could have used a table. That should have been the third option. Just use a table, dummy. It's tabular data. I'm going to show you guys an ancient technique called a table. Tables are a pain in the ass to set up because they just constantly want to not do the thing. Just like that. Now you have a table and all this stuff responds correctly. Say, okay, I need some padding here. And boom, now you got some padding. You notice how everything kind of adjusts too. So if one of these things ended up being like way big, it's going to move all this stuff back into place and nothing's going to break down. Let's just color amount, and then we'll do this with a data generator. So data name equals amount color. We'll try this color. Neat. We could do some little fancy pants stuff too. Like if you hover this, we give it just a little background color shift. Where you do this is like just a hover. That's all I want to do. Just light it up. Just light it up when you're looking at it. That's it. Just want to make your life a little bit better. Just a little highlight. Boop, 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 boop. Perfect. Let's give that a little transition, just to spice it up even more. Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to create an object for each row. And inside of the object, we're going to populate in a bunch of data. So at first, I think all we're going to do is get this sort of put together as a Ruby piece of code so we can run it again. This kind of stuff is a little questionable. I don't really care if the dates change. What I want to see is some randomness between these things. So let's get that started. We're just going to make that as a string. So that one will just keep rolling in. We'll do a little origin array, which can contain the 3 values. Then we'll do a description array, which who cares? We just want to see it look a little bit different. So just add some random values in here. Who'd be a guy that would give things? Noah would. We'll say Bane Games. Just a few different random pieces there. Now that we have those things, we're going to dynamically generate the amounts. So we want, let's just say 40 items. Let's get an output. Okay. So we'll construct this new hash thing. So first up, we need the date base. So that one just goes right in. And we're going to match this to whatever we want it to say up top in the header. So we want that to say date time, sure. And so we'll just grab that date base string, fine. Now we're gonna pick some things here. So we don't need to go crazy on this. We'll say origin equals pick one. We're gonna say just grab a random thing out of there. I wonder if there's a way. I bet Ruby's a smart cookie. I bet Ruby has like grab a random thing from an array. Just type it the way you think it, Greg. Ruby grab random item from array. That should get you what you need. Is it sample? Ah, bro, that's so cool. Look at that. Yeah, this is what I love about Ruby. Right? Rails is the same way. I think people like overlook Rails a lot and they overlook Ruby a lot, but people have to understand this stuff was made to be like fun. DHH put together Rails, right? And his whole deal was like, it's fun. So we don't even need that. So we skip a step. Boom. And now we're just going to say origin, because that's what we want it to be called. And then we'll say origin array sample. God, that's so cool. And even just the way you write these things, I know you write them differently in JavaScript and that might bug somebody, but and once you get into the swing of Ruby again, it's great. Or even start swinging into it. So we want a random amount between, we'll say 1 and 100. Okay, and now we're going to take that and stuff that into the output array. Did it work? Let's hope so. Oh boy. Oh, we did it again. Don't do that. I equals I minus 1. That's what you got to do, or else this just runs forever. Oh, we've done it again. Oh, right now their AWS bill is climbing exponentially. We could have called it again. Oh yeah, she's done. She's toasted. Let's just make it new. Sorry about that. Repellent. Let's try that. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's like, we do it again. Oh, hold on. That needs to go to JSON. Because right now it just printed the hashes out. There we go. So let's just go to prototype stuff.js. Perfect. You'll notice jQuery. Shut the f up. This is for earnings. Blap. There you go. Now let's go back here. Let's make a little template for this thing and we'll just fill it in. What we're gonna do is we're gonna loop this whole thing based on the page it's on. We're gonna have to add something again. So we'll do this differently, obviously, when we go to do like another page that has a table. So for this one, we'll just say data table equals table data earnings. Okay. So we're saying if this has data table, then draw table using that thing. Okay. All right. So this is where it's going to get funky. We need to get the data that's here that we named here. We need to load that here, but all it's going to get is a string, right? Let's use old alerty. Yeah. So it's got a string that it needs to pull. Now you can't just say, here's the string of it, right? You're going to have to eval that. I think. People say don't use eval. They're right, but it works. So what it does is it says, you gave me a string. I'm going to try to evaluate that string against what I see. It converts the string back into the reference name and is able to load this thing. That's a really valuable trick. It won't come up much, but when it does come up, you'll bang your head against the wall trying to figure that out. Because if you can use eval, you can also patch things like functions. You can be like, run this function. So here we could have just said data callback and it would have said draw table. Watch this. Yeah, we could do this totally different. Dangerous. It's a little dangerous. You gotta be careful with code like this. Never stick something like an eval on a back end. God. So we can have this callback and we just say, hey, if there's a callback that needs to run, this will make our prototype a little easier to mess with. So we won't even need that. Just say boop. Don't worry about it. Call this table data. And the exact same way, it's working the exact same way, but now it's a little bit cleaner. So now what we want to have happen is we want that data to load into here, right? We have the console logging that it has the data, right? Now we'll take that and say that that data is for the earnings table. Take that, go to the dashboard page with the callback, draw table with that and with a string that just contains the ID for the earnings table. And now down here, we'll say table target. And what I want to do is I want to clean that right out. So I'm just going to take that and say Table target, give this a little reference like this. The table equals the table target, and a little letty there. We'll just empty it out. So it's not working yet. Let's see, where'd you break? Where'd you break? Let me just see if I can log that out. Oh boy. What did happen there? You had the thing. This is all you need. This is all you need. That's what I want. Oh, hold on. It's not in quotes. This might be just a silly problem. So I'm pretty sure this is totally, the code's totally fine. I did not tell it to wait. I didn't say, hey, hold on a second. You got to load a page and then you got to do this thing. So what I have to do is I've got to find where the page loading actually takes place, which is right here. I have to make sure I assign this out. So we want that to just stay there. And then we'll ask that question in here. Did that thing that called this have that? There we go. Okay, we got it. Also, let me do this real quick, just in case I need to generate that again. All right, let's just guarantee that's in there. So we're just gonna do a little table wipe. So I don't think we'll actually have to wipe the table. So I'm gonna pull this back, but we're gonna build a renderer for the table. So we need to separate out all the unique keys and make it called a thing header. I can see if there's some like weird JavaScript-y thing we can use to find the unique keys. Is that the thing? Object.keys. Well, look at that. See, there's things. So that'll get us our headers. That didn't do anything. Just gave me an array iterator. Oh, it's literally object prototype. Oh boy. The keys they're going to look at the keys like that. Well, you'd imagine that the first item would have it. Let's do that. Boom. Okay. There we go. We got it. Well, first item, please be named correctly. Let's give it a little template to work from. I haven't used these templates too much. I thought it was just this plus a thing, but we'll do that. And then so we want a for array for header in headers. Then here's our row template. And we're going to want to do a string for this. So we're not going to use virtual DOM or anything. We're going to slam it all in as a string. Then we're going to slap it all into the thing once we get through the batch. Oh, great and wonderful JavaScript. I know I have to tell you you're a string. So this is actually going to be for array items. So we want this thing. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Wonderful. Now we're going to do the same thing for the table data. So let's just remove this. I actually don't even want a header string. We'll just do the whole shebang. So this will just be the table string, which will end up appending. But we want to do this sort of like in a way that if we updated this, it would update the way this worked too. So we don't want to really hard code anything. We'll want to do another one of these minus this, and then save that out as something else. Okay, so this will go through all the items there. So for each one of those things that will be in existence, we want to make a new div and then jam in the header. It's basically this. This is going to happen again, but we're not going to do this. And then we're going to take this out. And that's going to be something else. So this will be I, and the internal one will be J. Do another row template. And in here, J. Probably want to change these over to lets if you're telling me the thing is that they scope out a little bit differently. But we'll say let row template equal the header name for this thing and then the value out of that key. So that would be this, like this, and then walk into the value like that. Say here's your item row, just as a string. We'll take the item row string and add in the row template because we're also going to need an append. There's the table string right there. So table string will append this item to that. We do need to encapsulate this. I need to stick that here. Let's do it the cheap way. It starts like that. It does all these things. And then it encapsulates that. Check it. Okay, we got a lot of undefined. It got the first value. So it did know where to get the first value from. The second value, not so much. So got the headers, but table data was supposed to be I, which would have been the first item in table data. Then walk to J, which is supposed to be the name of the header. No, it wouldn't be the name of the header. It would be a number. So you literally need to do this. Oh boy. Deep. That's deep. Now we got all the data loading in. Now we're cooking. Now we got JavaScript. So we'll hit table and we'll just do an HTML replacement, which should tell all those things to convert their little happy butts into HTML. Yep. Screwed up something here. Table string needs to start off with the header. It's dumb, but we're doing it. Boop. Very cool. Oh, not cool at all. What happened there? Oh, come on. All right, let's do some fixing. We're not gonna be able to scroll this up. What I need to do is I need to get this sidebar guy to be here, this guy here to stay here. You want to see overflow Y scroll? I guess we could do that. Yeah, we could. We need to do it on that right panel, aka content loader. What's going on here? What about if you're just 100 pixels tall? You're just a little baby. Well, if you're just a little baby, you're fine. Oh, but it's still a little bit weird. But it did fix the left-hand side. And it looks like it actually fixed the right-hand side. It's just this background is weird because I set these things up a little weird, I think. Let's get rid of the panel. There we go. There was too many things that had height that didn't need them. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've done it. We've totally done it. Let's make sure this panel's not broken. Not really. So what we need to make sure that panels have a min height of 100%. We don't want to say go bigger than that. Yeah, perfect. Now the only thing I don't love about the overflow Y thing, like this page doesn't need scrolling, it's still got a scroll bar. Set the sidebar with 100 VH. Good idea, Tom. So let's see what would happen. There's some funk that's about to happen right now. Just let it happen, guys. We're about to get funky. We don't really care about the flexing right here anymore because this is about to get the funky tone. So if we say 100 VH, that's going to be a start. That's not going to fix it though. It's still going to be right there, right? So now we're going to have to say position fixed, which is going to push that like that. Yep. So now we need to take the content loader and margin left that sucker. Bingo, bingo. There we go. Funky town. Let me take you to funky town. There we go. Yep. That's what it's there for. And if you want to be real smart, you set that as a CSS variable. So when you changed one, it changed the other, right? And also, why did it remove the plus? Well, JavaScript, what do we do here? The amount is 50. Oh, those are just straight up numbers. We're going to need to add in something here to show the negative amounts too. So let's do that. Under redeem points, we're going to have like a list of things you've redeemed. But this here is just going to be like your transactions. I'm going to do a little bit of code to figure that out. We'll generate a new data set. So in the origin array, we're going to add redemption. Let's not worry about the description because I don't care. We'll do a thing here to generate the item, but now what we'll do is we'll write two blocks. We'll say sample origin equals origin array sample. If sample origin equals redemption, we're going to run a little different block here. Boop. Where now it's going to be an array between negative 10,000 and negative, I don't know, 100. And then the origin, instead of being a sample now, is just the words. It's just the value from sample origin. The description, we can just jam in here and say, got a hat. You got yourself a hat. So if it's not that, then we need to do just a little else here. Now, the amount is a number between 1 and 100, right? But we need that to be a string that includes the plus sign in front of the amount. Is that right? Is that how you do it? Uh-oh. Let's just see. Yeah, plus 14. Okay. Redemption here, negative, huge amounts there. Okay. Copy this. Now, just to figure this part out, we want the pluses to be represented one way, and we want the negatives to be represented another in the CSS. So we can do a JavaScript check. We'll just see if it's a positive or negative integer. Blue. Okay. And we'll see that this is showing this the wrong way. So now down here, where it's going through and making these row templates, we'll say if the header J is the amount, then this data here is your check. It's not that, it's just straight up the normal thing. But if it is the amount, we're going to analyze the amount. So now we'll be able to add this thing to say if it's positive or negative. Header data is greater than 0. The addition class equals positive, or it equals negative. Now there's other ways we could do this, but this is an easy enough way. So now we have negative and positive. The negatives are no problem. We should have a class on there that says that it's negative or positive. Perfect. The positives we're going to have to add a plus to. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to see. I think the way I'm going to do this with a pseudo, down here in the chart, we have this color that's being applied. So that does it. We'll just unapply that. Bloop. And then we're going to say if it's that thing and positive, it gets that color. And it's going to also catch something else. But if it's that thing and negative, it's going to go red. Boom. Okay. So now we want to get our plus signs in there, right? So for positive, we'll grab this again and do this little guy. Let's just put this after. A little easier to read. Not that we're going for legibility. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it. It might stick this in the wrong place. And it might mean we have to span everything going in, which is not a big deal. Let's just see where it's going to want to put that. Just put a content of plus. Ah, no problem. Look at that. Look at that. Like a glove. Perfecto. Cool. So I think I've only got time really for like one more of these pages. Oh, maybe not even. Let me just do this before I'm done. Let me just give this a little... I could do this all day. I could like sit on a design and tweak it all freaking day. Those date times, they're a little bright. Let's unbrighten them a little bit. Oh, looks so much better. Then the origins, why don't we bold those things up? Neat. All right, guys, I have got to run. Good seeing you folks. I'll see you next week.